Okay, well, I just want to welcome everyone tonight. My name is Danielle Driscoll, and I'm the Assistant Director in the Alumni Office at Pittsburg State University. I want to thank you all for taking time out of your evening to join us for this. Of course, we typically are traveling, visiting alumni in their areas, and of course, we're unable to do that due to COVID. So we've kind of adapted since last fall, and then of course the spring, we've been doing all of these virtual gatherings via Zoom. So it's been great. You know, it's allowed us to connect with people that we would not honestly ever get to go visit, like traveling to Brazil. I don't think that's probably in our budget, but it's great to have Natalia here tonight. We've had several alumni from many countries on these and just all over the United States. So it's great to see so many faces in one place. So tonight we're hosting the biology department, as you all know. So I'm gonna go ahead and introduce our special guest, and then I'll give everyone a chance to introduce themselves just pretty briefly, just so we have a reminder of who all is on here. So we have Dr. Mary Carol Pomatto on with us tonight. You wanna wave? She is the Dean of College of Arts and Sciences. We have Dr. Virginia Ryder. She is University Professor and Chair. And we have Dr. Andrew George.
Hello.
He's Assistant Professor. And Dr. Mandy Peak-Bryan, and she is Professor. We also have Mary Jo Meyer on, and she is the Director of Development for College of Arts and Sciences. Okay, how about Lindsay? Would you mind sharing your name, where you are, your graduation year, and just maybe what you're doing?
Sure. Lindsay Bernard. I am in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I graduated with my undergraduate in 2003 and my master's in 2006. I work for an environmental consulting company in Santa Fe and have worked with them for 14 years. We do all kinds of things. I primarily do mold inspections, but our company does lead paint and radon and asbestos and drug inspections and all kinds of stuff. So that's that. And this is Scott.
Everybody, Scott Bernard. I graduated 2001 with my undergrad, 2006 with my master's. Came to New Mexico with working for the state, their game and fish program at a fish hatchery. Did kind of a shift of gears in terms of job. And so now Lindsay and I both work for the same environmental consulting company here in Santa Fe.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, Natalia.
So the first time I went to PSU, I did an exchange program in 2012. Then I started my master's, which I graduated from in 2017. And now I am a PhD student at St. Louis University, an online student for now, but hopefully things will change very quickly. And here in Brazil, I'm actually teaching English for kids and teenagers while I'm waiting, for the COVID situation change for the better. So that's basically it for now.
Thank you. Deanne, would you like to share?
I'm class of 1983, class of 1985. I currently live in Beaumont, Texas, where I serve as Associate Provost at Lamar University. So I've been away from Kansas since essentially I left for Oklahoma State University in my doctoral program, but I'm really looking forward to learning more about what's been going on in the department.
Awesome, thank you. Robert?
I'm Robert Hageman. I'm a science teacher at a high school, and I went to Pittsburg State in like 1998 to 2000. And I know Dr. Ryder and Dr. Mandy Peak, and I just wanted to know what was going on with the department also.
Thanks. Dixie?
Hi. Yeah, I obviously cannot follow the rules. I think I was supposed to be muted the whole time, right?
You're fine.
Sorry about that. I'm a retired professor. I retired 2 years ago. I think it's been 2. And it's so good to see you all.
Thanks. Bob.
Yes, I'm Bob Galbraith, and I graduated master's in '75. So it's been a long time, probably the oldest person here. I had a career in the food industry, working in food safety and quality. And I left Cargill in 2002 and started consulting, and been a very rewarding career, helping a lot of small companies.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you. Brett.
Sorry, my wife's giving my son a bath, so I don't know what kind of conversation could come over. So I graduated from Pitt State in 2011, did track and field, and did my undergraduate in biology, and went on to go get my medical degree in KU Med. And then now I'm back in my hometown of Council Grove working as a family medicine physician. And my wife, Elizabeth, also graduated same year. And she went on to be a pharmacist, finished pharmacy school, same time I finished medical school. And so we're both enjoying our careers in medicine. Very busy right now.
I can imagine. Thank you. Nelda.
Well, I graduated in 1973 with my BSN, and I'm mostly retired. I've worked for 40-some years now as a nurse, and I just enjoy listening to some of these before. I listened to the nursing one, and I feel like that I just like hearing about the college, what's going on.
Okay. All right. Thank you. George. Okay. How about we'll switch to Neil?
Hi, Neil Bryan, 2008 alum, I guess, biology, and back here in Pittsburgh and practicing in Parsons, Kansas at Labette Health.
Thank you. George, are you there? Okay. All right. Well, thanks everyone for sharing. I'll go ahead and hand it over to Dr. Pomatto.
It would help if I unmuted. Thank you, Danielle. It's a real pleasure to be with you all this evening. Our biology department, I don't have to tell you, is a real point of pride for the College of Arts and Sciences, as well as Pittsburg State University. The quality of our faculty and staff and the students that we attract are just second to none. You know, very, very high quality. Our biology department collectively, they're engaged, and you all know that, engaged in learning, in campus activities, and in serving broader communities. So really are one of our stars at the university. I think right now our program, the biology department, collective programs have over 300 majors. We have about 50 minors, and all of those folks are advised and well taken care of by, I think we have 16 full-time faculty and staff. So you know the level of commitment that those folks have to be able to work as closely as they do in a real family type environment with all of the students that are part of the program. I have to give a shout out to Dr. Ryder. She has just been a joy to work with as chair, and she has been a tremendous leader. We have Dr. Smith on the line here with us this evening. And she was the previous chair, and she brought tremendous foundation and growth to our programs as well. So thanks to both of those individuals. And it's just a real pleasure to be here. So I think that probably you really want to get on to hearing from Dr. Ryder and Drs. Peak-Bryan and Dr. George. So welcome.
Thanks, Dr. Pomatto. We appreciate that. Dr. Ryder, it's all yours.
Hey, well, welcome to all of you. Some of you I know very well, others I know of, and some I don't know, but hopefully by the end of this evening, we'll all know each other much better. I thank Dr. Pomatto for a really wonderful introduction. And it is true that the biology department has for many, many years. I've been here now, I'm in my 21st year, and it really enjoys a remarkable reputation at the university as well as in the community. And most of you know that we're a very diverse group. We are one of probably the few departments left at a university where both the health science portion and the field science portion are equally strong. And so I'm really looking forward to Mandy and Andy talking about the programs on the health side and on the field side and updating you quite a bit on that. I thought maybe you'd find it interesting that one of the things I'm very proud about the faculty for in this last year, and I heard on the news tonight that it's been exactly 1 year since we became aware of COVID, and everything did change and has changed tremendously. And I think maybe it's difficult to appreciate how much work was taken on by the university to try to take care of our students. And I don't think anybody did a better job than that, than the college, as well as the biology department. We had to go online. Many of us were not prepared to go online. And the help that we received from the Teaching and Learning Center was amazing. The university supported us through computers, etc. And then it turned out that actually, as soon as we could do, we wanted to get back into face-to-face, and we came up with what's called a high-flex format, where we haven't actually decreased the number of students enrolled, but we could only have about 1/3 of the students in any class at a given time compared with our normal enrollment. And if you don't think that's been challenging, I can tell you it's been really awful. So instead of 2 labs this morning, I had 4 labs back to back, and I'm not unusual. We're all doing the same sort of thing. So we're very excited about the possibility of vaccination, and we're going to start in the fall semester under COVID restrictions. But our hope is that depending on how things look as we get closer to the fall semester, we may be able actually to go back to our normal enrollment. And the students have made it perfectly clear that they do not want online classes. They want face-to-face classes, something I've said for many years. And I'm pleased to tell you the biology faculty want the same thing. So I think the faculty have done an absolutely marvelous job this year, and I applaud each and every one of them. It has really been hard on us, on everybody. And it's also really given the students a level of stress that I think we haven't really understood. So we've had a lot of things going on, as all of you know, not just at the university, but in the country. And it's been a really unusual year. So specifically to the department, I want you to know that Dr. Neil Snow he obtained a grant from the National Science Foundation to move the herbarium, to modernize the herbarium, and he is an unbelievable workhorse. The herbarium has moved from its place in Heckert Wells into Hartman, and it is all new cabinets. He has spent many years now going back through all the collections and getting almost everything in a digital format, which is an enormous contribution to not only botany everywhere, but particularly, I think, to Southeast Kansas, because this is our history from a botanical point of view. And we're able to see what plants were here 40 years ago, what plants are here now, and how our environment may have changed and how things have changed. So if any of you come to campus, we definitely need to hook you up with Dr. Snow for a tour of the herbarium. And it's also a wonderful teaching facility because it is, I mean, Dr. Snow is probably one of the leaders in this area. And the herbarium has become a showpiece and a tremendous value to the university, to the department, and really to the community here in Pittsburgh. So that's been a real bonus. And actually, I might just mention that that's Dr. Snow's efforts to get a new herbarium were really spearheaded by Dixie when she was the chair. It's just taken this long now, and it's 3 years since you left, believe it or not. This is my 3rd year as chair. Oh my gosh. So that's been it should be a real feather in Dixie's cap because she saw the importance of this and helped in the facilitation of space and et cetera. And I wasn't going to mention this, but because somebody worked in food safety, we have amazing faculty now who have tentacles going all over with collaborations. And one of our faculty, Dr. Ghosh, is actually very interested in food safety, and she has a collaborative research effort with another food safety person at the University of Arkansas. And that is a very rewarding, I think, collaboration for her. And Dr. Ghosh is one of the premier faculty in the department for engaging both undergraduate students and graduate students in research. She's just absolutely amazing. So food safety person, come to campus, meet Dr. Ghosh and see what kinds of things they've actually been working on. Would be very, very pleasant visit for you, and she'd be delighted to show you around. I also wanted to just mention that biology has one of 3 outstanding faculty across the whole university. And this year, that's Dr. Phil Harries. And the reason that that's such a meaningful award is that this is absolutely an award that is totally driven by the students. So when you get this award, you are a T with the biggest capital T you ever saw, because the students think that you are outstanding and the competition is so serious. So are we proud of Phil? You bet. And he truly has become one of the leading professors on campus in terms of student engagement, his teaching. You know, I've always said that it's really hard to get any kind of teaching awards at Pittsburg State University because everybody here's a good teacher, and it's really difficult to top anyone. So Dr. Harries has done a really wonderful job. And then the last thing I thought, and I'll turn it over to Mandy and to Andy to give you a little bit more detail, but I thought you might be interested to know that there's going to be a new dental school in Joplin. I am absolutely, I mean, I think all of us are thrilled about this. It's going to be on the medical school campus, the KCU campus, which means this whole area now is becoming a really strong area for biomedical research and for healthcare. And that benefits the population, not only here in Pittsburgh, but also in Missouri, which I think is absolutely wonderful. It brings residents, it's going to bring dentists coming to this area who will teach, but also dentists who graduate. And one of the things I'm quite certain about is if we want good healthcare professionals in this area, we grow our own, because it's hard to recruit people to come here to work unless they are from this area or have gone to school here. So having the dental school in Joplin is fantastic. The first class is projected to start in 2022, which is, I mean, they've got the money to build the school. So this is really going to be happening quickly. And the university has a articulation agreement such that students can come here and in their second year, they apply for dental school if they're sure that's what they want to do. And they can do 3 years undergraduate here and then go to dental school for 4 years. So it's a 7-year as opposed to an 8-year period, which cuts a year off of their tuition. And I just think this is a really amazing development in this area and an opportunity for our students. Of course, I want them to stay here the 4 years and then go over to Joplin for the dental school if that's what they choose to do. But they do have other options, and I'm really delighted to share that with you. If anyone is interested, I can send you artists' rendition of what the school's going to look like, and you're going to be amazed. So thanks to all of you for joining us. I think we have a department of most remarkable faculty and most wonderful students, and we do have well over 300 students still, and those students are why we enjoy coming to work every day, because they are absolutely special. So I'll turn it over to Mandy, who will talk a little bit now about the pre-health programs and what the pre-health students have been doing and how successful she is as a lead pre-health advisor in getting these students into professional schools. So Mandy, thank you.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm going to share a PowerPoint. Let's stop my view. A little bit about, believe it or not, I've done this every day. Okay, here we go. Can you see my split face? Okay. I graduated from Pitt in 2000, so I'm also a Gorilla alumni. I then moved on. I completed my PhD and my postdoc at University of California, San Diego. And then in 2009, I applied for a job back at Pitt State and accepted that position. I've taught a variety of classes, including genetics, lecture and lab, epidemiology, immunology, lecture and lab, and most recently I began organizing pre-health orientation. So I advise a variety of pre-health students with interests ranging from medicine to cellular and molecular biology research. So I organized this list of professional schools, and some of these schools is where our students will continue their education following their bachelor's degree in biology. So lately our students have attended these 3 dental schools, University of Missouri, Kansas City, Creighton, and AT Still. We currently have about 10 students that are currently in dental school. And recently, one of our biology alumna, Abby Weens Frazier, actually matched at North Carolina to become an oral surgeon. So she'll continue her education after her DDS, and she'll be a DDS MD. The majority of our MD students do attend KU. We have a couple of KU alum on here. I think Dr. Bryan as well as Dr. Brett. They will apply to rural scholars programs, early decision, and they'll either attend Wichita or the Kansas City campus. Other schools that students have attended in the past 10 years since I've been here include Dartmouth, University of California, San Diego, University of Missouri, and then University of Oklahoma. And we've had a few students who are brave enough to not only go to medical school, but also earn their PhD. And currently we have 2 students, one's at Iowa and one is at Yale. Both of them are in their PhD route. At this moment, they've already completed 2 to 3 years of medical school. And then we had another student that actually worked with Dr. Ryder. She's now finishing her anesthesiology residency in California and is returning to the area. Some of the other schools that students attend are the DO schools. We have a number of students that have been at Oklahoma State, ARCOM, which is in Fort Smith, AT still, and then of course KCU. We have students in optometry school at the University of Missouri St. Louis, and we actually currently have one in Illinois. So right now we have 4 or 5 that are in optometry school. And we also have 3 students in veterinary school right now. And we have one at Oklahoma State, one at the University of Missouri, and one at K-State. So in the past couple of years, we've started a new emphasis in physician's assistant. So our first official graduate in this program was Natalie Golden, and she was accepted into every program that she applied to this past year, and she has decided that she will go to Creighton. Other students utilized our pre-med route, and they have attended PA school in Wichita State, St. Louis, San Antonio, Harding, Missouri State, Creighton, Arkansas, etc. And this past year, one of our alumni who graduated with Wichita State was actually voted the top student by her professors in that particular program. We always have a variety of students that attend physical therapy or occupational therapy schools, and these are listed here. Lately, the majority of them have attended Missouri State or KU. We have 2 students that have gone through a newer program. This is the Master's in Anesthesiology Assistant. So these students complete their bachelor's degree. They usually take the MCAT or the GRE, and they earn their master's degree in anesthesia. And right now, our students are applying to the University of Missouri, Kansas City. We've had students that earn a bachelor's in biology, and they'll go on to farm school. I think we have one, Liz, if Liz is on here. I see Brett, but not Liz. Hi, Liz. She went to farm school in KU in Wichita, and we have one that will start in farm school in Colorado. And then we have a variety of students that go on to our master's in different PhD programs, including public health, epidemiology, cell. We have one student that he is earning his master's degree in assistant reproductive technology, so he can work with IVF, and then of course biochemistry. Oops. We also organize orientation classes for students in the fall and the spring. So we invite medical professionals with varying specialties and interests to speak with our students. 2 of these pictures were taken pre-COVID. There are no masks. Everybody wears masks on campus, and we follow social distancing and COVID capacity. So I have invited dentists, MDs, DOs, students that are in professional schools. Here on the left, we have Megan Carlson. She graduated from Pitt in 2010, and she went on to KCUMB, earned her DO, and then she went on to OB-GYN, and she actually came back to our area, and she's working in Joplin. And here in the middle We have Brandy Ressler Lawrence. She is in her 3rd year of vet school at Oklahoma State, and she has just signed a contract to come back to our area and to work with Dr. Heather Wallace on Broadway. And then, of course, here on the right, we have Dr. Robin Wood. She was so hands-on and amazing during her presentation. She also brought toothpaste and toothbrushes for everybody in the class, and students just absolutely adored it. And here she brought her entire staff, and she went through all the steps of what you would expect if you came to her office. She's also my dentist, and she always goes above and beyond, and she even takes pictures of moles. So she wants to make sure to see if you have any skin cancer like melanoma. And so she went through her complete story there. And if you have any questions, go ahead and jump in. I'm used to an interactive audience. Oops. And I also wanted to discuss our pre-health volunteer trips. These have, let's see. They started in 2007 or 8. I don't remember the exact date, but I spoke to Dan Zurich today, and we were discussing how many trips that we have both been on. Zurich has taken 7 trips to, 5 of them to Belize and 2 to Peru. And he said that there was approximately 100 students that he has taken on these trips. And I've taken 7 or 8 trips to Belize, Peru, Romania, and Mexico. And I've taken about 120 students. Some of you guys may recognize this student. This is Courtney. Did you go to school with her, Danielle? Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yes. Were you guys in the same sorority?
Yes, you got it.
Got it. Little things I remember. Okay. Yeah, Courtney went with us to Belize. This is Dr. Zurich's trip to Belize. And what's interesting is that I try to track these students when they go on these trips, and then where they continue on. So just in this group right here, she's in optometry school. She is in medical school. This is Dr. Zurich. She is in dental. He's earning his master's in epidemiology. This is Mallory. She's in medical school, and PA school, and then he's also in PA school. This was my first trip to Belize, and Brett and Liz may recognize Eric Hunt or some of the students in this group. This is the group that we took to Peru, another great group. So our typical clinic day is we get on a bus, we ride to the village, we set up these day clinics, we set up triage and the pharmacy, as well as the provider stations. So the students are usually in charge of triage, and this provides so much clinical experience to providing healthcare to these underserved populations. So like this group here, Tyler's in medical school. He went to PT school. We have dental school. We have med school. Buster went to medical school. Alyssa went to dental school, and then Mr. David Schlee, or Dr. David Schlee and Dr. Boya, they both went to med school. And I can just show you so many of these great pictures and just how important these trips have been to enhance the application to professional schools. It's important for their personal statement, the interview process. We had another alum that came to visit us this past week, Courtney Snyder, and she went to PA school. Let's see if I have Courtney in this picture. Oh, so here's Courtney right here. And she was so interactive with our current students, and she's like, these trips, they just enhance the soul. It just reminds you of why you want to go into medical health care. So like in this group, almost every one of them went on to professional school, either to dental school, PA school, or to medical school. That's not the best picture, it's not very clear. Another great group to Mexico. It also provides this great participation in health clinics with these different individuals. We always have healthcare providers, we have pharmacists, we have dentists, we have PAs that also help interact with these students and these different patients. And then this was the group that I went on in 2019. So of course, 2020, they were canceled. 2021, there's no trip. So let's see where we go in 2022. So another benefit to the student is it provided some cross-cultural communication in healthcare. It gave the students an opportunity to work with interpreters, and it also gave them an opportunity to speak Spanish. I'll just quickly go through some pictures. I don't want to keep you here all night, but this is just an example of some triage pictures in Peru and in Romania. These were triage out in Peru, and you could see when we first got there every morning, there could be a line of 100 people waiting to receive health care, and they were just so happy to see us. We always had the opportunity to work with the medical professionals. This is my husband and one of our current students, Sarah Wilkinson, and Sarah's going to DO school, and he brought his sonogram, and he was showing Sarah what to expect to see in this individual. And here we had an ER doctor, and we just happened to be at the right place, the right time for this farmer because a gate fell on his hand. Again, we also work with the pharmacist, and here are two more of our students, Josh and Jace. And Jace is in his first year of surgery, and this is Ann Hutchinson, and she's in her third year of surgical residency in Michigan. This is Kristen Espinoza. She completed her DO degree a few years ago, and she's working on her residency in family med. And we also have dentists that go with us, and our students, they usually collect toothbrushes and toothpaste from their dentists. They have the opportunity just to show some of these school-age children just how to brush their teeth. And this is Kyla, and she was just so happy. I've never seen somebody so happy just to brush their teeth multiple times a day. Let's see. So some student outcomes for some of my trips. 35 of these students have gone on to medical school. Most of them are now physicians. 10 of them have gone through dental school, 7 through PA, physician's assistant school, and then the remainder, they've gone to graduate school. We even had one who decided to go to law school, nursing, dental hygiene, anesthesiology assistant, or some of them are still completing their coursework at Pitt. I'm always happy to keep in touch. I manage the biology Facebook page. So a lot of our alum information is posted on the page. I try to post all the awards, and please keep in touch. Also, there's an alumni newsletter. This is Zach Krumzik, and there was a story about Zach. He was the third year ER resident at the beginning of COVID, and it discussed his story. And then some of you guys probably recognize Dr. Brooker. She was the genetics professor before me, and there was a great story in the alumni newsletter about her company testing for COVID. So that's all I have for you. So of course I will happily take questions. Let's see, I'll start my video. Okay. And now it's Andy.
I don't have a question. I just want to say I thought that was so marvelous. Those trips are so important. I don't know of any students who decided they didn't want to go to professional school. Most of the students here have never been out of the country, never been out of the state. They have no idea how other people live, and these are truly transformative trips. And I know that you and Dr. Zurich both do such a good job, and I love seeing the pictures because a picture's worth 1,000 words when it comes to knowing what the trip means to these students. So thank you. Well done.
Oh, well, thank you. I have 10,000 pictures, so just come on to my office and we can look through them all.
All right, it's my turn now. I have a little presentation too, slightly different format as Mandy's, but get it up and running here. Let's see. All righty. Can everybody see that, and can everybody hear me? Okay, great. So I'm going to give, like I said, a slightly different format that than what Mandy gave. Our field program has gone through. Well, our field faculty are fairly new. So some of the faculty. Several faculty members retired just a few years ago, just before Dixie. So Steve and Cindy Ford retired, and Jim Triplett retired. And so there's kind of a new cohort of field faculty. So I'll go ahead and I'll introduce them on the next slide and show their pictures and try my best to represent what they're all about. And then I've got a few quick numbers and then just some pictures of some of the field trips that we've been going on lately. So, and like Mandy said, feel free to stop me or jump in there. This is a little bit less organized. I've got more pictures than I intend to show as well. So these are, Dr. Nonnenmacher here in the upper left-hand corner, he's been here a while, but the other folks are all new. And I don't know when Dr. Snow started, but I believe he's newer than all of the cell and molecular pre-health folks. Then Christine Brodsky, James Whitney, and I started in 2016. James started one semester before Christine and I. We all knew each other before coming here. We were all at Mizzou at the same time. Christine and I went there for graduate school. I was a postdoc at the time, and then James went to K-State, and he was a postdoc there as well. So that was kind of nice. And since then, we've all been, we worked pretty closely together on several different projects. Christine, she's from New Jersey, from the East Coast, and she was trained as an urban ecologist. She's worked with birds and some other animals, but she's interested in human dimensions. She teaches a class now on human dimensions. James is from Chase County, Kansas. He's from rural Kansas, and his family has a big cattle ranch out in the tallgrass prairie. So he's I guess more familiar with Kansas. And Neil Snow is from Washington. I think he's from Seattle originally, although he went to WashU. And I'm originally from Oklahoma, but I went to school at Mizzou as well. We're very active. We all have research programs right now. So since we got here, one of the first things we did was overhaul our field programs. We changed 2 emphasis areas, and then we overhauled 2 emphasis areas. So now we have 4 emphasis areas within the biology department. We have one called Wildlife Ecology and Conservation, We have one called Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences. We have one called Botany, and we have one called Ecology and Field Biology, just kind of a catch-all. The Wildlife Ecology and Conservation Program and the Fisheries one are meant to facilitate getting certification with the Wildlife Society and the American Fisheries Society. And so students don't, these are very rigorous certification programs. And after you get the degree, you have to, you actually have to take another class beyond that. And then you have to apply and be accepted, and a committee has to review your certification. But that's kind of was our mindset with doing that. Well, we've been very successful since doing this so far. Some quick numbers here. So I've started, these numbers here come from 2017. So we started in 2016, and then this is from fall. I believe fall 2017 is when I started these numbers. So since then, the field biology program has grown by 65%. We're still a minority within the biology department. We still have less than 100 students, but we've grown steadily every year with our high. I don't know what our spring enrollment is, but this goes up till last fall. Even with COVID and everything, our enrollment was higher than it's been, and I suppose forever. Since 2017, the field faculty have brought in more than $1 million in external funding. This is a back of the envelope calculation. It's probably like 1.2 million, but I don't know the actual numbers. This is just the ones I'm familiar with. We have active research program, more than 26 peer-reviewed publications, pretty evenly spread, although Dr. Snow has more than any of us. He's very prolific, and he's a very good scholar. We've won many awards, and I don't have a list of all the awards that we've won. We've won, two of us have won the university-wide research and scholarship award. Dr. Brodsky won the best undergraduate mentor award. We've won College of Arts and Sciences awards. Since we started here, we've become very active in the Kansas Natural Resource Conference. One of our students has won the best presentation award in either by the American Fisheries Society or the Wildlife Society Kansas chapter every single year. And we have more, the last few years, we've had more posters and presentations than any of our sister institutions. We're very proud of that. And there's a lot of others too. These are just things that came to mind as I was putting this together. And I just, all of us have lots of different projects that we're involved with. We go on lots of different field trips. For the sake of time, I just picked two to highlight, two of my favorite things that I would show you a few pictures from, but I don't want to imply in any way that, that the other folks don't have things that are just as good and just as exciting going on. So this is a field trip that I take my herpetology class on. And actually, for those of you who are field biology students, Jim Triplett used to do a very similar trip. Now, I went on this trip when I was an undergrad in Arkansas, and I was aware of this, but then I was excited to learn that Jim Triplett had been doing this, a similar trip too. So we go to Southwest Arkansas to look for endemic salamanders. And on this is the one from our last, I guess this would have been 2019. And Dr. Snow went, so you can see him there too. And we have a great time. You know, we take the university vans, we stay at Ouachita Mountain Biological Station, and we stay there in that building. It's like camp. We stay in bunk beds, and we have this kitchen with where we have communal meals, and we go out into these remote areas to look for animals during the daytime. And then last time we went on this trip, so I'm kind of a musician, and Neil Snow's a serious musician, and two of our students were musicians. So we'd have like this, we played bluegrass music around the campfire every night. It's great fun. It's a wonderful experience for our students. Here's just some pictures from that trip. That's me there holding a snake, but the students love it. And the landscape is unlike anything most of our students have seen. It's not Belize or Mexico, but it's still pretty exotic to some of them. Here we are collecting amphibians around a pond. There's Dr. Snow at Little Missouri River at Albert Pike, talking about bryophytes or something. So we go there looking for salamanders like this one in this picture, but there's really a lot of other things we do as well. This is one of our students, Ashlyn Sinclair, who recently graduated, and she was afraid of snakes. She didn't want to take herpetology, but she was so happy in this picture to not be afraid of holding that thing. Let me just kind of go through these pretty quickly. There, so we're driving. These are the PSU vehicles right here. This is this is our nicer van. It's got 100,000 miles on it right now, but we take it. This is on top of Rich Mountain, and then there's our PSU car behind it. And we drove those today, this afternoon, on a field trip as well. So we're still, I don't know how long these vehicles have been here, but we get a lot of use out of them in our field program now, where we drive them all the time. So that's the herpetology field trip. This one other project I was going to highlight quickly. I've gotten involved with bat research since I've been in Southeast Kansas, and which isn't my background really. It's kind of new to me to be involved with bats. But one of the projects, this picture was taken from a project in Eastern Oklahoma. I take a group of students down to work with some bat biologists at a site where they swarm for fall right before hibernation. And so what we've got in this picture, we've got two Pitt State students over here. This is Maggie Murray and this is Michael Barnes. Michael Barnes was a graduate student. Maggie Murray was a freshman when this picture was taken. And then all these other folks are bat biologists from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, state agencies, and from 2 consulting firms. And we're right out there. So what I'm trying to do is get our students out in the field with these professionals who will ultimately hire them. Maggie Murray just got a job last week. We just found out I don't have, partly because we're new, I don't have a lot of statistics on how, the number of students that we've placed yet, but 2 of our students who went on this trip got jobs working with an environmental consulting firm. And I've got that on that project in particular, we put a trap over this cave where bats fly out at night. This over here is this is an antenna, and we've put tracking devices on the bats. So when the bats fly out, this tells us if they're coming, who's coming and who's going. You can see there's somebody up here. This gives you an idea about how big this is. And then here's one of the bats that we work with. This is an Ozark big-eared bat, which was everybody's favorite there, just because they have they're so unusual looking. But again, these are our students. This is my student Michael, and then these are biologists who we're working with in the field, getting experience with. This is Michael aging the bat. To age a bat, you hold it up to your headlamp. Actually, the person holding the bat is aging the bat and using Michael's light to age it by looking at its knuckles. I'll just quickly go through. So for those of you who, well, I don't know how many Pitt State students have been involved in this project, but we have a colony of gray bats in Southeast Kansas that we've known about since the 1960s, and several of the faculty over the years, I think Horace Hayes started this, Steve Ford was involved in this project, and now I've sort of inherited it. We're working with the state right now. So we have gray bats, which is a federally endangered species that lives underneath the city of Pittsburgh in our storm drains. And I'm working closely with the state to monitor and study them. I've got a grad student on the project now, but we've got a lot of good media attention from this. These photos are from Sam Clausen, right? Is that Sam's last name? It's our Pitt State photographer. These are really nice photos of our students working with the bats. I'll just kind of go through here. One of the things we're doing is testing for white nose syndrome, which is a disease that's affecting bats. We use black lights to do that, and then we take samples and send it to the National Wildlife Disease Laboratory in Wisconsin. And so far, we've come back negative. Let me see, last thing here. Let me just go quick here to the end. Pitt State has 4 properties, which we've collectively called the Southeast Kansas Biological Station. the Monaghan PSU Natural History Reserve, the Robb Prairie, and 2 smaller patches called the O'Malley Prairies. And we've been managing them pretty actively since I've been here. We, especially the Monaghan, which is the biggest one, we burn it. This is one of our fires. If you can, I don't know how well you can see this on your screen. These are some of our students. We work closely with the local fire department to kind of help us, or the rural fire department to help with some of the burning. We're haying it now. And we're getting, we'd like to get more use out of them, but we are using them. And these are just some pictures from last fall from some of my classes out at the Monaghan. You can see we've mowed it. There's a pavilion back here. And I guess we've had the Monaghan since the 1980s. So I guess your experience with Monaghan might depend on when you were here. But we do have several classes that use these properties for labs. This is one of our students, Ashlyn Henderson, collecting insects for part of a class. And we're using them for research too. Delia Lister, who runs our Nature outreach program, I think, oh gosh, I think she's run it since 2006. Nature Reach is an outreach program where Delia goes and talks to school kids. And she houses raptors out at our properties, and she does a really great job. She's raised a lot of money for the facilities out there, and she does with very limited resources. She's done a great job of bringing publicity to the university and doing outreach. So I'll just stop there. I have a few more kind of random things, but I'll open it up, and then if anybody wants any of us to go back, we can. So that's all I've got formally.
Thank you.
I'm looking at the questions now.
Yeah.
And Natalia went on that trip in 2017. That was my first year to go.
Exactly. It was amazing.
If anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask.
I don't have any questions, but I will say that I learned a lot. Thank you for sharing those presentations. They were great. Good job. And, you know, I do also want to give a shout out. You know, I know that an awfully lot of our graduates from our programs, particularly our health professions, medical school, et cetera, that, you know, these people are on the front lines. And so thank you very much for everything that you have done, because I know you're all going above and beyond. So thanks much.
I got to ask, are the recirculation tanks still in the basement?
No. Recirculate.
Dr. Triplett had
no, Scott, they're not.
They're not? Man, I worked hard on those tanks.
So when
discarded.
while I was chair, we went through the university required a what do I want to say? We had a huge HVAC project that replaced the HVAC system in Heckert Wells. And in the course of that project, they gave us an ultimatum that, well, and then we had to have the basement emptied. And if you remember what the basement was like, you can imagine what that was like. They also found in the basement under the chemistry department, there was some mold. And so suddenly, I mean, we couldn't wiggle out of it. We had to clean out the basement. So yeah, the recirculation tanks, they're no longer there. And I don't know, Virginia, if they've ever let anybody use the basement yet, but while I was there, I think they just were afraid that it would fill up like it was before. So no, they're gone, Scott. I think much to Dr. Triplett's sadness.
And I think they have patrols that march through the basement to make sure that we're not using it for storage. So it's pretty clean still, actually.
Yeah.
That would be impressive to see, just the basement all cleaned out.
Knowing what it looked like. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very different. Very different. But
I'm happy to hear that you guys are still doing all the trips and stuff. I went on all four of the spring break trips. And Scott went on all three of them, and it was so much fun. And we both went on the Georgia Barrier Island trip and all that stuff. And it was a good time.
It was good hands-on experience that a lot of the field biology students, can carry over to their profession and really help out with, having that background and jump into the job. That really helped me out. So
great. I do the herpetology trip to Southwest Arkansas, and then for ornithology we go to the Platte River in Nebraska in about mid-March, and we get the students down right on the river. It's a short trip. It's 3 days, but we get up close to the cranes. So if you all haven't heard of that, about 500,000 sandhill cranes kind of hourglass through central Nebraska in March. It's 80% of the world population, and it's this amazing spectacle that people come from all over to see. But we'll drive up on a Thursday or Friday night, and then get up early in the morning before the sun's up and get right down on the river. And the student, it really makes an impression on the students.
One of their first stops is the Bosque de la Apache, just south of Albuquerque, and they are very impressive.
Great.
I don't know, Mandy, I don't know if this is an easy question to answer, or if you can't, that's fine. We can do it some other time. And actually Virginia as well. But I was curious, with the new dental school over in Joplin, is there going to be a preparatory emphasis area for that? Or I don't know what the requirement for dental schools are, or will they accept any pre-med type preparatory program?
Our pre-dents take the pre-med courses, so it's the same.
Okay, so
the same emphasis. Yeah, it's pre-med / pre-dent.
So no need for anything new. They'll be ready to go with that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments?
How many grad students do you have on field program now, Dr. George?
A grad program, I forgot to talk about the grad program. We have, I don't know the total number. I looked at that list. I think we have 16 or 17, which seems like a lot. I have 4 graduate students right now, and they're amazing. And they're all they all came from elsewhere. I have a graduate student from Florida, from Illinois, from Tennessee, and from Ohio, and they're all here on with full support for 5 semesters. They have full. They're getting paid twice what the Pitt State rate is for that time, and they all have health insurance. And they're awesome. So they're all employees, and I'm very happy about them. I'm so glad. And so two of them I'm co-advising with Dr. Brodsky, and they could have gone anywhere. So we're just we're really happy. And despite being the COVID and everything, they started last summer. Mm-hmm. We're still doing fine with them though, and so.
That is awesome. Wow, that's like a big change in numbers already.
Yeah. Neil Snow's got 2, and I think he's got 1. He's got 2 that are going to be coming next fall. And I don't want to overlook people. We've got Whitney's got some. We've got several that are about half of them are from elsewhere who have come here. Snow's got one from Idaho. Whitney's got one from New Mexico. So yeah.
That is awesome. And are you still doing the trips with the Kansas Herpetological Society?
I am. I'm currently, this year, 2021, I'm the president of the Kansas Herpetological Society.
Nice, congratulations.
We're hosting the fall meeting in November of this year, and we're planning as if we're gonna do it in person on campus. So I'm working on that right now. And we do 3 field trips per year, and I've done almost all of those since I've been here. They're great fun. We go camping. These are big camping trips with folks from all over Kansas, where we collect reptiles and amphibians, and they're great because I get to work pretty closely with folks from Hayes and Emporia too. Good collaborative activities. So
nice.
Yeah.
Lindsay, who's that little guy in your lap?
This is Paxton.
Hi.
Hi, Paxton.
So Scott's bringing our, I don't know if you know Dr. Smith, but we have Paxton obviously, and then we had twins too.
No,
so
I didn't
here's
know
one
that.
of the twins.
Oh my
He's
God.
being shy. Come here, come say hi real quick.
How old are they?
They're 4.
And there's the other one.
Hi.
You guys have a house full, and how they're all adorable. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy to see them.
Yeah, it was crazy when we found out we were having twins. We were like, what?
Are there twins in one of your families?
No, they're identical twins, and identical twins don't have anything to do with your family history. It's just surprise.
I didn't know that. That's amazing. Oh, I'm so happy for you guys.
Okay, ready?
Does anyone else have any questions or comments?
Hi, Mary Jo.
Okay, all right. Well, I just want to thank Dr. Pomatto, Dr. Ryder, Dr. George, Dr. Mandy Peak-Bryan for joining us. I appreciate you guys taking your time out of your evening to visit with our alumni. This means a lot to them, I think. We've had great experiences with these, so I hope everyone has enjoyed their update from biology. I just wanted to say a couple quick things from the alumni office. So every month at the beginning of the month, the first of the month, we do send an e-newsletter out, an alumni e-newsletter. It's just kind of like a wrap up of everything that happened the month prior at PSU, maybe some upcoming events, kind of some various things. So if you're not getting that, let me know and we'll make sure we get you on the list. But it's a great way to kind of stay up to date with PSU if, you just want to kind of hear some top stories of the month. We also, one of our more important programs that we have over in the alumni office is our license plate program. So I'm sure many of you have seen them. They're available in Kansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma, but they have split faces on them. And of course they're great. They look great out and about on cars, and it's good PR for the university, but it's also a scholarship plate. So the fees that are collected for that plate actually go back to Alumni Legacy License Plate Scholarship. And we award that every fall. Last fall, in fall 2020, we awarded over $82,000 to more than 200 students. So it's a great way to give back. It's a great way to show your pride. It's a super easy process to get it on your car. So I encourage any of our Kansas and Missouri and Oklahomans to look into that if it's something you would be interested in doing. And last but not least, I did mention, we're not traveling, of course, due to COVID, but last fall we did host some taste of home events is kind of what we call them. So we traveled to Kansas City, Tulsa, Wichita, Northwest Arkansas, and we brought fried chicken from Chicken Annie's with us, prepackaged in boxes. So alumni can order those, order them. They just kind of drove through the parking lot, picked them up, and went home and ate fried chicken. So we are going to do some of those events again this spring, starting in April. We'll go to Wichita, Kansas City, Topeka, Northwest Arkansas, Tulsa, and Springfield. I think I got all of them. So if any of you are in those areas, be looking for some emails from us. We'd love to see you. And you also can order a bottle of creamy Italian from Maldelli. So we're trying to get to you. We're trying to see you and kind of bring you some of those comforts from Pittsburgh. So yeah, so I hope we'll be able to see some of you. I wish we could travel further, like to New Mexico and such, and bring chicken, but I think that might be a little too far. Maybe next time. So, and last but not least, we have some prizes to give out. So let's see, we will start with We have a Once a Gorilla, Always a Gorilla koozie, and this will go to Robert H. We have a Pitt State cup, and this will go, I drew Bob's name. He's not on here any longer, but I'll mail it to him anyway. So congratulations, Bob. We have a little Pitt State cutting board, and this will go to Nelda. Have a license plate frame, an alumni license plate frame, and this will go to Brett. And last but not least, we have this really nice split face throw blanket, and that will go to Lindsay. Woo! So everyone will get a little something in the mail, so be expecting a little something. Natalia, we did send you some goodies last week, so hopefully those will get to you sooner rather than later, so be on the lookout for that. Yeah, of course. Again, I just want to thank everyone for taking time out of their evening to visit with us, and special thank you to our special guest again. We really appreciate it. If anyone ever needs anything, if you ever come back to campus, please don't hesitate to reach out to the alumni office, of course, to your biology faculty. We love to see familiar faces. So yeah, I hope everyone has a great night, and I will leave you with Once a Gorilla. Oh,
Always a gorilla.
Let's try that again. Okay, once a gorilla.
Always a gorilla.
Always a gorilla.
There we go. Great. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Danielle.
There you go.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Tell John hi.